all a great bit of fun, Minister. I hope you're as amused about the plight of the thousands of pensioners who are the victims of the expert panel recommendations into the IASS scheme, which was roundly rejected by active members in the DAA and obviously overwhelmingly rejected by those who didn't have a voice in the process at all, the deferreds and the current pensioners. Now, we're told that an extra $7 million has been found for DAA pensioners. Where did this come from? How did we get new money now when you said you couldn't get new money to alleviate the problems of the deferreds and current pensioners? And if it isn't new money, who's losing out?
Thank you. Minister number 6.
Thank you, Deputy. First, I want to again make it clear that the IASS and its funding are primarily matters for the trustees, the companies participating in the scheme members and the Pensions Authority. At the request of my department and the Department of Jobs, Enterprise and Innovation, the expert panel recently engaged with the unions to provide clarification on a number of issues arising from its original report of June 2014. The expert panel issued its final determination on the 9th of March 2015. There is no change in the capital sum being provided by the companies as outlined in the report of June 2014. Specifically, the final determination states that the expert panel, and I'm quoting from their statement, has determined that no alteration to its recommendations in its original report is necessary. In effect, this means that the benefits described in that report continue to apply as a minimum. The expert panel has established some scope to address the redistribution of part of the capital sum recommended for active members so as to address concerns raised and to enhance the position of those who are closest to retirement and most impacted by the contribution rates applicable to the lower paid. I was pleased to note the very positive outcome of the recent ballot in DAA and Shannon Airport. As a result, those matters can be resolved once and for all, and staff in Aer Lingus, DAA and Shannon Airport Authority will finally have clarity and certainty about their future pension arrangements. I hope this sentiment is shared by the Deputy.
Thank you, Minister. Deputy Clare Daly.
Yeah, I mean, I have to say that is some fairy tale for the real lives of the deferred pensioners and those who are currently on a pension, where you know that now, as of this month, €2 million have been taken out of the pockets of retired staff members in that airport scheme. €2 million since the start of January, income that should have been theirs that isn't there. Now, that's a severe loss on those people. They don't accept that that's the case. Tomorrow, pensioners will be protesting at the AGM of Aer Lingus, but bad enough for Aer Lingus. The situation facing DAA workers is even worse because of the actuarial calculations there. And I suppose what people are asking, you try to wash your hands and say this has nothing got to do with G. It has everything to do with G because of the way in which you signed the commencement order and allowed, under previous changes to pension legislation, these cuts take place. And they're grossly unfair when people have been excluded from the process. And what people want to know is, how is it fair that one group of workers take a hit like that, and yet, for example, no pilot has had their pensions reduced or had the determination of their defined benefit scheme changed in any way? How, in God's name, could this be just?
Minister.
Both companies, as part of this process, contributed €260 million to the resolution of this matter, €190.7 million from Aer Lingus and €72 million from the Dublin Airport Authority. So €260 million was contributed by both companies to respond to the issues that are being referred to, of which €60 million went into dealing with matters that the ferries have raised, which was an increase of €20 million as a result of the expert panel process. You asked me the specific question, had additional funding been provided as a result of the latest part of the process that happened, and you referred to €7 million. The answer to that question is that new money was not found, I'm not familiar with where that 7 million figure comes from, though perhaps the Deputy might give me the background to it. What I do know is that the expert panel report on determination did refer for a figure of up to 5 million for transition measures for airport fire and police and 0.85 million for dealing with the resolution of the Aer Lingus fund.
Thank you, Minister.
And I have always said that I appreciate and I have first-hand experience of the huge anguish and worry that is being caused in relation to this matter. But if I hadn't made the decision that I had, an entire fund could have been plunged into huge risk.
Thank you, Deputy Clare Daly.
Yeah, you've confirmed clearly that there's no extra money, which means some of the existing actives will take a hit at the expense of others or whatever. Please don't repeat the 260 million statement that you made, which I've had to ask you to correct previously. Can you make it clear that no extra funding was made available into the IASS scheme? It's a slight difference, but it means all the world of difference, because what it means is that those who are on a pension got nothing. The decisions that were made without their consent, without their engagement. It has cost them already €2 million. It's been estimated €175 million will be paid by those people to allow that fund meet its minimum funding standard. And that's the reason why hundreds of pensioners are taking legal action against your government, that they've written to the Attorney General and the State in order to sue you for financial losses because of their reasonable expectation that they could enjoy their retirement. Now, can I ask you, given that you are launching a campaign for equality at the moment, and correctly so, in terms of marriage equality, where's the equality that no pilots have had to make a hit because the companies engaged and dealt with it, but yet you think it's okay that ordinary clerical, cabin crew and manual workers can see their retirement incomes devastated in their latter years?
Thank you, Minister.
Life?
Well, I think one of the great strengths of the way the marriage equality campaign has been handled by everybody involved in it is there's been great attempts made by those of us advocating the yes vote not to politicise it and not to bring party political matters into it. And I really regret the way in which you've looked to integrate here this morning matters which are entirely different and entirely separate. You asked me not to repeat what are matters of fact. What is a fact is that additional money was made available by companies to deal with this issue. I pressed both companies personally myself, because I came in at the latter phase of this issue, to see if more funding would be made available. It could not be. And you asked me the question earlier on, was an additional 7 million found to deal with this matter? And I confirmed to the answer to that question was no.